Hi, today I'm going to talk about and demonstrate shamanic journeying. So, shamanic journeying is a way to access altered states in ourselves and be able to receive guidance, direction, information on how to change, to move forward with grace, ease, and joy in our lives. So, what I love about science today is now quantum physics science is starting to catch up and understand and show us the value of the ancient technology such as shamanic journeying. So, that's what we're going to be playing with today, learning and having a few demonstrations of a few different instruments that I use for this. I use sound as a driver. I use sound as a way to go into these altered states. And yeah, so the altered states that I'm talking about is right now as I'm talking, I'm in probably a beta high alpha brainwave state. If we close our eyes and relax a little bit, we start dropping down into a lower alpha. And if we start going into a meditative, a dreamlike, almost sleep drifting state, then it's theta. Theta is the dream state. It's the kind of like a hypnotic state. And of course, then we go into more of a deeper sleeping where it'd be a delta and deep delta state. So with shamanic journeying, the sound creates a phenomenon called brainwave entrainment. So it'll be a bit of a boring, melodious rhythm, and the natural rhythm I find works the best for me, that gets us out of our thinking mind and into that altered state where we can have the creative visualization, the dreamlike state, and access our inside intuitive guidance, information, the moreness of who we are. I've never not journeyed, so it's been something that was very natural for me. I was just born with this ability. I wouldn't even call it ability. I was just born being able to journey very, very easily. So in the early stage, I used it as an escape, which was good because it was a very comfortable, a very easy, a very instant access of escape for different things. And I realized later on when I'd come back from that escape, that journeying, I would perceive things different. I would have different insights. I would have different direction, guidance. So through time, I developed this for myself, and then teaching this to others, how to really purposefully, consciously access these altered states to get direction in your life, to get direction on how to live the life you desire, how to have the health you want, and so on. So we're going to use sound to demonstrate this, and I'm going to use a couple different instruments that I use. So the first instrument that I use quite often is a rattle. So I use the rattle when I just start with someone journeying. So it's easy for me to talk over the sound of the rattle as I guide them into an altered state. So I invite them to focus on the sound of the rattle, and then I start using, more of a slow, suggestive words, basing on their thoughts, basing on their intentions, and guiding them into a journey. So the rattle is a really nice rhythmic, flowing, easy sound to help them go into an altered state. And then I'm able to easily go into a little bit of altered state while I'm doing it, which is kind of a fun challenge for me right now because I'm not actually doing this with anyone. I'm talking and teaching about it. So it's a lot easier for me to be in an altered state than to actually talk and teach about it. So we're having fun with that today. So another instrument I use, and I'm going to take this frame drum here, is a frame drum. So I'm going to move this mic for a minute because a frame drum is really powerful and it spikes the mic. And you can hear that nice deep resonant tone of the frame drum and how that's really in training. And so, I'll play a different rhythm based on speed, or a rhythm based on what I'm feeling and connecting with whoever I'm doing this with the client, the person. So that's another way. And also I can talk above it and around it. And so obviously, if I had a mic and I'm doing this on a Zoom session, I'd have the frame drum very low down by my body, and I have the mic very close and turned down. So then the sound actually works quite well. But for this video we're doing, I need to adjust the mic to have a proper sound. So the next instruments that I use is the djembe drum. So the djembe drum is a nice drum, and I use a padded drumstick with the djembe drum. So again, it's just a nice rhythm. Sometimes I talk over it. I use a microphone on a amplification system, and again, just guiding the person in. And then while I'm guiding them in, I'm walking with them. So as I have this natural ability to easily journey to access these altered states of consciousness, it's very easy for me to connect that person. So it's kind of like energetically, I hold them by the hand and away we go. It's like quantum physics would say the observed is affected by the observer. So they're observing me, I'm observing them. I'm easily to go in and access these altered states, and then away we go. So another way that I'll use this, I'll use the double djembe. So what I like about the double djembe, and I'm going to move this mic a little bit over here, is they're both at different pitches. They're both different sounds. And when I'm playing with that, different sound, different rhythms, they create a moreness between the two of them. They create a harmonic. And then another instrument I use for journeying, of course, is the didgeridoo. So with the didgeridoo, what I'll do is I'll have kind of a slow rhythmic. I'll start with a slow rhythmic sound, and then maybe I'm speeding it up, slowing it down, depending on what I'm feeling, seeing, sensing of what that person needs, whoever's journeying with me, what they need for the journey. So it's a kind of a personal soundscape for them. And so an example of that would be starting slow, maybe a little bit faster. I'll just play a little bit. Now, when I've worked with someone for a while and they understand the concepts of journey, then I teach them. They don't need me to guide them anymore. They don't need me to have a constant guiding of words and steering them. They're able to kind of take the training wheels off and just ride the bike by themselves, so to speak. So then I use just sound. So sound takes us into the journey, and sound brings us back. Now, the way I do that is with the sound. So I'll use the djembe for an example. So the sound, I'll say, I'll tell them, let the sound move you in, and the sound will bring you back. And then I explain that we'll start with kind of a rhythm, something like that. And when it's time to come back, then I'll do 4 sets of 5 to 7, depending on the felt sense with that. So having a sound like this, then when it's time to come back, or more accurately get ready to come back, I'll do 4 sets. Like that, 2 sets, 2 more. And then I'll do another 30 seconds, minute or so of a little bit faster. And so they can finish up wherever they're doing. They can start moving back so it's not an abrupt, so it's kind of an easy, gentle flow coming back. And then when it's time to fully come back, then it's another 4 sets of 5 to 7. And again, and 2 more sets. And if they're still not fully back, then I count them back and bring them back in the room. So let's have a little bit of a mini journey together. So I'm just going to use the didgeridoo and the djembe. That's kind of my favorite soundscape, blending everything together. And yeah, so this might be where you want to put headphones on or relax a little bit, going inside, and we'll just have a little bit of a sound journey here together. So I'm going to move this mic. that's a little example of a shamanic journey using double djembe and the didgeridoo. So I invite you to shoot me an email or use the comments below if you have any questions, if you have any anything you want to share or ask, or which instrument do you prefer? What experience have you had? Do you enjoy the frame drum more, the rattle, djembe, the didgeridoo? I'd like to hear from you. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you in future videos. Bye for now. Have a fantastic day.